appeared in Homer, and Homer also wrote quite a couple of hymns to the gods. And it is in this way that we ultimately proceed to the 5th century BC, which is most remarkable for every student of literature. I believe that every student of literature should very carefully consider this century, 5th century BC. Because it is in this particular century that we find the huge development of the Western culture as also its decline. So therefore it was in the 5th century BC that we find a large number of, poets, critics, thinkers, philosophers. At the same time, the decline. Thus, steady decline of the Attic culture in its broad sense of the term. So therefore, it is this particular century that we should try to be very particularly aware of. Now, as time is very short, I would now come to tragedy. So with this brief, very, very brief, I would rather say the briefest kind of, indication at Greek history. But I will always ask you to read at least a standard book of history. I recommend I.M. Finlay's book. It's a slim book and very readable and particularly meant for the students. So therefore, I believe that, and it is there, I know, in Bardon University Library, I brought it there. In Bardon University Library, this book is available, I.M. Finlay's book, The Greeks. And after this, I would take you to the analysis of tragedy. Now, if we try to consider tragedy as a genre, then we have to know something about a god. And his name is Dionysus. Dionysus actually is a suffering god. The name itself will give you an idea. Jews had a relationship with a woman of this art whose name was Cybele. And because of some kind of adversity coming upon Cybele, she died, leaving the unborn child to Jews. Jews kept proper care of the child, although his wife Hera was always trying to destroy the child. So that's why ultimately he took the child to a lonely place. It was Mount Nisus. It's now in modern Iran. Nisus actually means trees. It was a place full of trees, Nisus. Dionysus. Dio means what? He is a god of the trees. He is a god of vegetation, therefore. That's why he is a god of the farmers. Actually, that is the original meaning. Dionysus is a vegetation god. Dionysus is the god of the farmers. Dionysus is a rural god. Is a localized rural god. If you look at the original position of the gods in the original pantheon, then you will see that all the other gods in the pantheon are standing in a line. These are sculptures in the temple, in Acropolis. All the gods are standing in a line together. And there is an isolated God much farther away from them, and he is Dionysus. He is not accepted into the main pantheon. He is a rural god, he is a local god, he is a god of the vegetation, he is a god of the farmers. And later on, Dionysus is accepted as a god of wine. And in fact, there is a place called Ikaria in Greece, from the name of the mythological character Icarus. Icarus was the first one to welcome the god Dionysus to a Greek kingdom, because he could teach them the art of making wine and grapes. This was another kind of aspect of the god Dionysus. So that's why he gradually evolved into a wine god. As you can see, it's his poetry, Bacchus and his bards. Now therefore, Dionysus is all the time has been traveling. He's a traveling god. He's a suffering god. Because he has no fixed place. Because he's not worshipped anywhere. He's only worshipped among the downtrodden, among the rural farmers, among the local, communities. So he has no wider acceptance in the great pantheon of divinity, Greek divinity. So that's why he has been a sovereign god. Even there are, as Aristotle himself points out, that there are many Asiatic influences, many Asiatic characteristics in the worship of Dionysus. Before coming here, I have emailed one very important book on Greek tragedians, on Greek tragedy as a whole, to Prodipto. I think Prodipto has received it.
Not yet.
Haig's book.
Not yet.
You did?
পাইনি এখনো।
পাওনি?
না।
ওটা ড্রাইভে যাচ্ছে।
আচ্ছা,
আদারওয়াইজ আমি যেটা করতে পারি, আমি ওটা ইয়েতে
ঠিক আছে।
আমরা 25
হুম।
So